Another film that we've been excited about for quite a long time now. Ryan, something that you brought our attention.
Certainly did.
And look what it is. It's the Lobster.
Turned into a monster. It's the
Lobster.
It's turned into a
It's
lobster.
turned into a lobster.
It's turned into a lobster, more accurately. So I don't know how many of you, not you here, but people listening, are familiar with Yorgis Lanthimos' work. Lanthimos?
Butchered.
Yorgis
Lanthimos.
We got it right last week, didn't
I
we?
got it right last week.
Yorgis Lanthimos.
Yorgis Lanthimos.
He directed the terrific Dogtooth a few years ago, which we've all now seen. Liam has now seen it, and Alps, which I definitely want to see. I've got that in my home, and I will watch it. But now he's come back with a film that we have been hyped for a long time. I read about this first in a magazine many months ago, in Empire magazine.
More accessible.
Much more accessible.
And it's an English language debut as well.
I read about this a long time ago, saw the synopsis, got hyped out. It said, you know what, I'm going to keep an eye on this because it sounds really, really cool. And in the end, it is. It's exactly cool, and it's very, very out there, despite the fact that it is much more accessible. It's not what you would expect from something that stars all of these extremely famous people. You know, it's got an amazingly well-rounded cast from people like Colin, Farrell, to Ben Whishaw, to John C. Reilly, to Rachel Weisz, to Seydoux, Michael Smiley. You know, it's a big name cast. It's not small fry. This is his English language debut, and I'm proud to say that it's terrific. It's probably one of the films of the year for me, if not
lived up to your expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. You know, it's absolutely unabashedly hilarious.
Do you think we can go to Joe first? Because Joe, you did see it first. You saw it Monday night.
Yeah. Oh man, it's weird. It's kind of like Dogtooth. It's like Dogtooth, similar in the fact that it's so strange that you just have to kind of laugh, even at the most incredibly dark moments. It's one of the weirdest films ever. The wooden acting just. You would expect it to be
that's
like
the thing with both Dogtooth and the wooden acting, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah, you would expect it to be
situation.
like kind of quirky and annoying, but no, it just kind of enforces the dark moments and just enforces the dark comedy, and it's absolutely hilarious. I was laughing all the way through Dogtooth. Really loved it.
So basically, the Lobster, we're following a loner, a single man called Colin Farrell, who has been taken.
Well, a single man played by Colin Farrell.
Yeah, a single man played by Colin Farrell, who's there is a rule now in society where if you are single, you have to be taken to a place called the hotel, where you basically live in a classic sort of English sort of B&B hotel setting for 45 days, and if you do not find a partner, then you have to be turned into an animal of your choice and let loose into the woods, so reincarnated essentially. But it's exactly what you would expect. It's a lampoon, and at the same time it's a parody and a homage and
more satire.
A parody and a satire, and it's just brilliantly funny, and then it gets so dark throughout. It's so dark throughout anyway, and you find yourself laughing at things which shouldn't be funny, but they just are. Like there's the scenes where there's round of applause for things that are extremely stupid. I mean, it's absurdist. I think that's the best way to put it. It's extremely absurd, and there's so much dry humor and so much brilliantly funny sort of things. The background attention to details is terrific. There's some amazing things happening in the background. So you've got scenes that are making you laugh in the foreground, and then you realise what's happening in the background, and you laugh even more, and that just makes you have a gut reaction that this is hilarious. You know, you're just constantly laughing, and you're getting the tears welling down your face because it's so dark and hilarious. And it's a fantastically acted cast. It's a really heartwarming story as well, and there's some terrific metaphors and sort of lessons about life and love in there, as you would expect. You know, similar to Dogtooth, many sort of dark and sort of really. I don't know, gut-wrenching themes, I guess that's a bit to put it, like really like isolation and Dogtooth, and now it's sort of like love and relationships in this time. You know, he's not afraid to get dark and deep
it's often unflinchingly brutal.
You know, he's not afraid to get brutal in the subject material and sort of explores themes in absurdist ways, and also really sort of heartwarming ways and touching ways. There's plenty of quiet moments in this, and it is really downplayed as well, but it's just so it's so endearingly funny and sort of brilliantly warm, and you can't help but back Colin Farrell throughout. You know, when he finally meets Rachel Weisz, it's sort of a warm moment, you know, and the whole cast sort of is brilliantly funny. Ben Whishaw sort of plays a
I think
bit
when
of
he's
bit of an arse, really. And
the heartless woman.
Yeah,
that's
most important. All of the places have sort of names, and there's no like the hotel, the woods, you know, the city, and then all of the other characters apart from Colin Farrell's David have no names. You've got the heartless woman, you've got the nosebleed woman, the nosebleed man, the lisping man. You know, they're all like archetypes and stuff, because it's all very important to follow David, and the rest of them are sort of side characters in his story, and it's all part of the wonderful setup in this incredibly imaginative dystopian world that he has created, and it's just so it's brilliantly imaginative, and you just cannot help but love it.
What I love about it is that it calls out relationships for the sham that they are.
Yeah.
That's the
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that all relationships are doomed, but it's certainly got that thing that you've got to conform to characteristics. You know,
Mhm.
Ben Wishaw's character has a limp. He can't find anybody with a limp, so he, becomes Nosebleed Man.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell, so he does at the
Yeah.
end. That's what I mean. It's all
Uh-huh.
about conforming and about. Well, it's just a sham.
Yeah, and
But
it's,
the film really calls out and it nails it. It's spot on.
But even loneliness as well, it kind of pits them against each other.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the people of loneliness are just
yes,
as
because
bad
there are
as,
just as many rules in the hotel as there are in the woods, the
Yeah.
two settings of the film.
Leah Seydoux perfectly is the leader of the loners.
You get the parallels, and it's great to that. And it's just another one of those endings from Lanthimos, which is just so. Oh,
just leaves it dangling, doesn't it?
It's
Leaves it
frustrating how
hanging
dangling,
there.
but it's such a brilliant ending. And it's terrific from start to finish. The reviewers have said it loses steam when it goes into the woods, and I know Joe thought it did a little bit.
a bit, but it doesn't really.
I think
detract
it's
from it,
justified by what happens just after.
Oh yeah.
I think it becomes a bit of a different beast, no pun intended, when it gets to the woods, and it becomes a bit more about the themes apart from the absurdist comedy.
I mean,
and that's
I
what
would have
makes
liked
it-
to have seen more of the facility.
Yeah.
I would have, even though Olivia Colman, she's in it as well, and
Yeah,
she's got
yeah.
like a small part but a very important part.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see more of her because
Uh-huh.
the dance scene had me in stitches.
Yeah.
That was historical.
It's
Chip is the
fantastic,
manager,
yeah.
and it's a great cast, great story, so funny, and just it's good to see themes explored in such an absurdist comedic way.
Easily one of my new favourite films of the
Absolutely.
year.
See it.
I highly urge you go to the Tyneside Cinema this week. It's still on. Please go see it.
If you like weird but warm and brilliant stuff, you've got to see it.